Hola, amigos! Brad the Big Noise Evans here, and it's time to bring the noise. Week one of the NFL season about to get underway. The full slate of NFL games. Condolences if you went against Saquon Barkley, maybe Jaden Reed. How about Xavier Worthy? Those guys absolutely blew up in Thursday Night Football. And of course, the Friday Night Football matchup played down in Brazil. But hey, we still got a full slate of games, and you have ample opportunities, to say the least, to dig out of that deficit and hopefully get that first fantasy victory of the season. I, of course, do these AMAs every single Sunday this season at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And if you have any pertinent fantasy questions, thoughts on your mind, hit me up right now. You see the various ways you can get a hold of me here via Facebook at Yahoo Noise, on Twitch at Big Noise 78, on YouTube with Fade the Noise, and X. I may be able to take some of the questions. Sometimes the StreamYard software works with X and syncs up. Other times it does not there at Noisy Huevos. And of course, you can stream the show live right now on the GamingJuice.com, my free website. Check it out. Some excellent content I'm turning out there every single day, whether it's sports betting, whether it's fantasy football. We get you prepared. Ben Wittenstein, Nate Jacobson crushing it right now in the college football world for betting as well. Go to the GamingJuice.com right now, you jackwagons, and sign up for a free account today. So as your questions are already starting to come in fast and furious here, week one of the NFL season, let me give you some of my top Prizzops here of the main slate. Numero tres, I say Zamir White's got a zig, he's got a zag, he's got to get at least 75 rush yards at a plus 240 there at BetMGM. Look at Zamir White, a guy that really turned on late last season. Weeks 15 through 18, he went 69, nice, 145 yards in the ground, 71 and 1 at 12. So this is, in a couple of games, down the home stretch, getting at least 17 rush attempts in every single one of those matchups. A guy that was number 13 in yards after contact per attempt. Yeah, so the missed tackles force numbers, the yards created per touch weren't spectacular, but he's going to run behind a top five offensive line, or top half, I should say, offensive line there in Vegas. And they look at the LA Chargers. I know a lot of people are getting hyped up about Jim Harbaugh. He's got to rectify a lot of defensive issues, but on paper, according to my buddy Mike Clay at ESPN, LAC's got the worst interior line defensively heading into the regular season, near the bottom of the barrel as well in terms of linebacker unit. A lot of question marks outside of Bosa there off the edge with the Chargers overall. So I think Zamir White, probably in upwards of 20 carries in this game. I say he goes for at least 75 rush yards. Let's get seduced by that juice there at a plus 240 at BetMGM, and I love him as a top 20 fantasy option this week. Next up, Mike Evans, my cousin, anytime touchdown at a plus 115 juice there at ESPN Bet is where I locked and load this sucker. I think Evans going to have a monster game today. He had 13 touchdowns in 17 games last season, 17 red zone targets last season. That was number 14 among all NFL wide receivers, number 9 in total route wins, numero uno in total air yards. Of course, he's been a maestro of the ADOT, and it's all about taking advantage of the matchup against Washington and Michael Davis. Michael Davis last season with the Chargers, 119.8 passer rating allowed, 65.6 catch rate, and 9 TDs in 15 games. Evans plucks it high, tucks it in, referee arms go up. I think he scores an anytime touchdown at a plus 115 juice. Meanwhile, my numero uno player prop play on this main slate, week one of the NFL, Taysom Hill. Give me the over on 16.5 rush yards. Truth be told, if you're always following the always free, always transparent, always public spreadsheet, I grabbed this at 15.5 when it opened. I'd still play this up to maybe 18.5, 19.5, quite honestly. Taking on the Carolina Panthers. I understand the Panthers are going to be much improved defensively. Clay's got them ranked on the interior line, number 14 best in the NFL entering the regular season. But Taysom Hill had a monstrous game against his team last year, 9 carries, 75 yards. The coaching staff has said they want to really blow up the packages available to him this year. So all I need really is 5 carries. If I get 5 carries out of Taysom Hill in this game, knowing got 2.91 yards at the contact per attempt last season, I think that is a magic number for him to cross the 16.5 threshold, and we make some cold, hard cash as a result at a minus 120 juice for Taysom Hill over 16.5 rush yards against Carolina Panthers. I'm locking and loading it. Speaking of locking and loading, give me your questions right now here on this AMA, and I'm going to answer as many as I possibly can here the next few minutes. These are the various ways to get a hold of me on Facebook at Yahoo Noise, via Twitch at Big Noise 78, YouTube on the Faith and Noise channel, or on X, maybe. It doesn't look like X is syncing up. I think I have to have like a premium count or something like that for that. At Noisy Huevos. And we have a few questions already coming in right now. First up, this one coming in from the Only Sutton on Twitch. Hola, amigo. Hola to you, Only Sutton. Khalil Shakir or Chase Brown at half-point PPR if Chase is not active. I think Chase is going to be active because there's no T. Higgins who is going to play for the Cincinnati Bengals. So in my estimation, he's going to be on the field. I'm probably going to see a decent workload, snap share overall. It may not be the usual like 90-95% of the team snaps. He may be more in the 55 to 65% range, but I still would trust Jamar Chase. I have him in a 14-team league, and I am certainly going to play him and not, sit him down for some of the backups I have on my roster right now. And I'm always getting down on my guy Chase Brown. Again, this is real. University of Illinois sent me this like propaganda package when he, for a hot minute, was in the Heisman conversation a couple of years ago. Chase Brown maple syrup, the pride of Canada. Oh, Canada. That's him. So, obviously I've watched every single snap of this guy's not only NFL career, but his entire college career. I'm a buyer in him, a believer in him. What's most important is the improved pass pro and the improved performance in training camp, as well as a receiver. And given the shortcomings really of this entire wide receiver core right now with the Cincinnati Bengals, Chase Brown could be a sneaky good pass catcher today. Yoshi Voss obviously going to have a role ramped up. Other guys going to have their role ramped up. But I think Brown is going to get down on probably 11 to 13 touches and a great match against the New England Patriots. Number 20 interior line defense projection by Mike Clay. Number 21 off the edge. Stronger linebacker core. But I think Brown could be, again, sneaky good. A little bit more upside in my estimation with him today. All right, more questions coming in. Jonathan Bada asks, what's going on with Tyreek Hill? Is he playing? Well, I'm glad you brought up that news because this just broke about 10 minutes ago as Adam Schefter actually posted the Scotty Scheffler-like arrest video of Tyreek Hill. He was on his way en route to the game. And we don't know what kind of traffic violation he committed. Maybe he was speeding. But we see in the video him on the ground getting arrested. Now, of course, he's out of jail. He's fully expected to play. I think he goes nuts. I mean, we don't have all the details. The system will play itself out here. But with Tyreek Hill getting arrested, not the most opportune time for that to occur going into the stadium in your opening matchup of this season, of course, that being a matchup in which he should have a spectacular game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I understand the Jaguars might have a top 10 secondary overall, but Tyreek Hill, he's a freak, a speed demon, a guy that absolutely burns all the DBs that are out there. I'm not panicking at all when it comes to Tyreek, and in fact, I wagered in the alt market on the over 80 receiving yards for him. I take it for an anytime touchdown. I jokingly said, and maybe he was half joking, NFL's single game receiving records are in jeopardy as Tyreek might have a little bit of angst, might have a little bit of emotion and motivation build up given the events that have unfolded today there in SoFly. So, crazy times. You just never know what is going to occur day in, day out in the NFL with Tyreek Hill getting arrested right before him going and arriving at the football stadium for the game in which he should have, hopefully, a banner performance in the battle and showdown on Sunshine State against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Joker says Bills wide receiver, hey, Khalil Shakur again, or Keon Coleman, and at point PPR. I'm going to side with a veteran in these situations. First game ever for Keon Coleman in a meaningful situation scenario. I like the kid's skill set, but he's a bit of a roller coaster ride throughout training camp as he was acclimating to the pro game, and that's very common for a lot of guys that are out there. Shakur was a member on my all shocker special team list preseason, a guy I thought was a tremendous value in fantasy drafts, and nice little rhythm and chemistry he's already built up with Josh Allen. So knowing that Arizona is in the running, maybe the worst secondary in the NFL, knowing Shakur is going to be split inside and also work outside, so that versatility could free him up no matter who he faces in that defensive backfield of the Desert Birds. So I think the upside today is with Khalil Shakur over his teammate, Keon Coleman. Good luck to you, Joker. Jason says, Jaylen Warren or Keenan Allen in the flex and at point PPR. Both these guys obviously dealing with some injury issues. Keenan Allen, a nagging heel injury that we practice on a limited basis all week. Warren, not on the injury report. And remember, he had that hamstring setback a couple of weeks ago. I do worry about soft tissue issues flaring up. But yeah, I also worry about Keenan Allen. I mean, a guy that reportedly was at 230 pounds at one point in August. Maybe the Ozempic is kicking in. I have no idea. I think there's more downside there because all the mouths to feed in that Chicago offense. Rome Odunze, with, of course, DJ Moore, DeAndre Swift, and Cole Kmet are going to be active receivers, I believe, today. Slightest of edges to Jaylen Warren, with more than likely Justin Fields getting the start. Not official that I have seen yet. Benny Rappaport saying that's where the team is leaning. The Russell Wilson traveled with the team to the ATL, dealing with that bothersome calf setback. And Russell, you may never start in Pittsburgh if Justin Fields performs well today and Pittsburgh gets the W. But give me Jaylen Warren, slight edge over Keenan Allen. Good luck to you. Ryan, hola, amigo, hola to you. Need a flex between Mandatory Montgomery, Jack Wagons, or Joe Mixon. It's Mandatory Montgomery, man. Have you seen the total in that game? It is ticking up. It's up to like 52 and a half. Highest total on the week one board. I think scoring is going to be plentiful. Remember, Aaron Donald, he's in retirement now. He's playing like shuffleboard at the Sunny Acres Retirement Center. So that fearsome front that once was trotting out there for the LA Rams, no more. So Mandatory Montgomery, great matchup. Should be able to maximize it. Coach said loves him. I know there's been a lot of hype about Jahmyr Gibbs, but I talked to Dan Miller on my radio show that I do with Ryan Horvath every Monday through Friday, 7:11 p.m. Eastern on Odyssey stations nationwide. And you can stream the show on the gamingjuice.com. You don't have to pay a dime for it. It's called BetMGM Tonight. But I asked him, straight up the play-by-play guy of the Detroit Lions what he feels the separation and carries workload is going to be. He goes, it might tighten slightly from the 55-45 split, Montgomery to Gibbs, that we witnessed last season. So I think mandatory, it's the same old story. He's going to be the primary goal line back. If they are sniffing the chalk inside the red zone in this game, you can count on him getting ball to the belly, more upside, and Mixon is facing what I think may be the best interior defensive line in the National Football League. Don't agree with me? Mike Clay believes the same there in the Colts, so he may not have a whole lot of breathing room. Good luck to you, Ryan. Terry says Joe Burrow or Jared Goff, the artist formerly known as Goffle. I'm going to go with Jared Goff. Again, I think there's more shootout appeal in that game. His weapons are healthy, and Jameson Williams could really step up and be maybe that, number 2, number 3 in that offense. I mean, really, it's Sam Laporta is the number 2. And of course, I'm on the number 1. Jahmyr Gibbs would expand his role as a receiver. Fireworks will be popping at Ford Field under the prime time lights tonight. And Burrow, of course, we'll see how much Chase plays. No T. Higgins. There's some downsides there. Jared Goff, advantage over Joe Burrow. Next up from Jamie Cox, thoughts on Zach Moss today. Oh, I'm glad you asked that because I actually have him here on my little cheat sheet. I got him for anytime touchdown. I grabbed it at plus 150 there at BetMGM earlier this week, and I'm sticking to my guns. I think Chase Brown's going to get around 11 to 13 touches in this game, but if the script goes as everybody anticipates, the spread approaching 10 points in many books right now, the Bengals should be in command, which means who's going to come in, ground, pound, and salt away the clock? It's going to be Zach Moss. I think he's going to find the end zone. I think it's going to be around 15 to 17 carries in this game. Could be north of 65, 70 yards. So, a fair estimate, 15 carries, 65 yards, a touchdown. That'll get the job done. Maybe throw in like 1 or 2 catches. Bada bing, bada boom. It's a double-digit scoring output. You'll take that all to get a day long. Good luck to you there. Gypsy Queen Brad. Hey, Gypsy Queen. Happy Football Sunday. Happy Football Sunday to you in a flex spot. Juggernaut Javonte Williams or George Pickens. Of course, we don't know officially who's going to be the quarterback under center for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Justin Fields has been airbailing a whole lot of throws that we witnessed in training camp in the preseason. That is a concern. Juggernaut Javonte going to be sharing the backfield wealth with Jaleel McLaughlin, especially on pass downs. I actually really like McLaughlin over on his receptions prop. That's 2.5 at plus 145, baby. Oh, yeah. Again, working the shoulders. They were getting seduced by that juice. But I think Williams will be the primary goal line guy. I mean, Audric SMA will get some touches in the interior at times, maybe 5 to 7 of the game today. McLaughlin contingent on game script. We'll see how many touches he gets, but Williams should get around 13, 14 touches. And against the Seattle front, that was number 30 at EPA run defense last season. I take my chances with him over Pickens, who may not be tall enough to catch some of the passes that Fields is throwing him. Tommy says Pollard or Brian Robinson in a PPR. I love Brian Robinson. I really do. I know the matchup isn't the greatest there on paper, facing Tampa Bay, Vita Vea, and friends, but he's going to work a hell of a lot more than I think people believe. I know Austin Eckler's there. Eckler will supplant him on occasion in pass down situations, but who's going to be the primary goal line guy? Who's going to be the primary early down guy? I think it's going to be Brian Robinson. And by the way, Brian Robinson, if I am correct in this, I'm remembering it right, he was numero uno in yards per reception last season. He's an accomplished receiver in his own right, so he may catch 2, 3, 4 balls in this game, especially if the Commanders fall from behind. And they got Jane Daniels there. And Jane Daniels, given his multi-dimensionality, will open up some running lanes for Brian Robinson. So given his versatile skill set, given the impacts of Jalen Daniels, and given a decent matchup against the Buccaneers, slight edge of Robinson over Tony Pollard today. Pollard going to be in a 50-50 split expected there with Tyjae Spears. Next up, Colin says, hola to you. 1 point PPR, Christian Kirk or Calvin Ridley. Man, I love Christian Kirk. I discussed this on BetMGM tonight earlier this week. I think he's in a smash spot. I know that can be, overused at times in fantasy football, but here's the reason why I believe it is indeed a smash spot for him. He's going to see Kadir Kohu, the primary slot corner in coverage. And you look at Kohu last season, a guy that gave up an 82.7% catch rate, 7 touchdowns, 132.6 passer rating, and the 11th most yards after the catch. Kirk, obviously, going to line up primarily slot. He saw 67.4% of his snaps in that position last year. He was also number 7 in route win rate in man coverage. 19 was his ranking as well, and yards per route run. I mean, he's a really good receiver, and there is some shootout appeal here. So I'm going to go Christian Kirk, slight edge. I think Calvin Ridley could have a damn good season. Tommy says, love down going forward. Do I get Herbert, Baker, Geno, or Watson moving forward? I mean, it's played week to week. I mean, if all those guys are available to you, just maximize the matchup and stream. There's no reason really to stash in because they're all quite similar in the grand scheme of things. Phils _215 on Twitch. Hola, amigo. Hola to you. I need upside in bed. Joe Burrow or Kyler Murray. Well, you got to go with the duality. So in my estimation, go with Kyler Murray. He could really come out smelling like a rose, I believe, in garbage time. Also, Bills or Texans defense. Not the Texans for me. I think that game is going to be a shootout. I really do. I think Houston's got some severe defensive issues that could be exasperated by the opposition in Anthony Richardson, Jonathan Taylor, especially today, maybe some Michael Pittman. Give me Buffalo. So it may sound counterintuitive here. You're kind of going against yourself, but I go with the Buffalo Bills defense and I go Kyler Murray as well there. Good luck to you, Phils. Steve Lindor, morning to you. Point per completion. Ooh, interesting. Did you go with Kirk Cousins or Kyler Murray for week one? I think the volume is going to be there for Kyler, but will the accuracy be there? I don't know. I'm going to go with Kirk Cousins. I think Cousins in that matchup for the Atlanta Falcons is quite a tasty one. Taking all the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers got to be very strong, of course, the interior line. That's got to be, their calling card this season. But the back end, I think there's some question marks. Cousins, very accurate quarterback. We'll see, how effective Kyle Pitts is going to be. That's a big question we all want answered. Can he live up to the hype? But we know that Drake London is an adept receiver, very good one. Bijan Robinson is going to be heavily involved in some of the dump-off work there. Darnell Mooney could have a sneaky good game down the field, and a couple of explosive pass plays. So me, bang for the buck, give me Kirk Cousins in a PPC league over the Dachshund of the Desert. Jim says Kyler or Jaden Daniels. Also, PPR, Brian Thomas, Javonte, or Jacoby Myers. Interchangeable, really, Kyler and Jaden Daniels to me. Probably go Kyler by the slimmest of margins. Again, I think the Buffalo Bills are going to start off strong in this contest. I think the Buffalo Bills will, maybe race away, which will lead to some soft coverage opportunities that Murray could pick apart in garbage time, and a little bit more upside over a 4-quarter game compared to Daniels in my estimation. And then meanwhile, the other question in a PPR, no on Brian Thomas. It sounds like Jalen Ramsey's going to be able to play. Javonte Williams got to surrender some snaps. That's a concern with that. Jacoby Myers actually could be sneaky good. I think at the defensive backfield of the LA Chargers, another high question mark for that team. So in my estimation, give me the Raider, Jacoby Myers, over the other two that you mentioned. Good luck to you, Dim. Tommy says pick 2 again, running back and a flex, Sutton, Ford, or Monty. Give me Monty and Ford, please. Phil's off to a horrible start. My opponent, Lamar, A.J. Brown, and Reed. Holy cow, 91.12 points. Reach for the tequila, my man. You're going to need to numb the pain. Jeremy says Brian Robinson, Deontay Johnson, Jermaine Burton, Devin Singletary, Brian Thomas. Thomas Burton out because of the first games. We got to see something there. It's Brian Robinson for me in a walk, really, compared to everybody else that you listed. Chris says, top of the morning, bro. A whole lot to you. Gypsy Queen says, Burrow or Jay Daniels. Slight edge to Joe Burrow there. Ryan, one more for you. Marvin Harrison or Rome Odunze in a PPR. If you had to choose between those two. All right, pair of rookies. It's all about the matchup here. Marvin Harrison's over-under right now is in the low 60s at the various sports books that are out there. So that's a good measuring stick. And then you look at Rome Odunze, he's in the 50s largely. I think the weakness of the Tennessee Titans is going to be on that back end in that secondary. And really, I think it's going to be a beatable defense overall. Odunze looked great. He's got phenomenal separation and route running skills. Caleb Williams appears to have immediate trust in him. I think Odunze has a little bit more upside today, even though he is going to be splitting the target share with DJ Moore and Cole Kmet and Keenan Allen. And Marvin Harrison may be the main man, but that could work to his disadvantage in this game with the defense, maybe, doubling and triple teaming him at times. So slight edge there to Rome Odunze. I know you paid probably out the wazoo for Marvin Harrison in your draft. John says, thoughts on Mark Andrews going forward? Should I put a claim in for on Likely or Brock Bowers? I think Likely is the real deal, folks. Now, he's not going to nearly replicate what he did in week 1. Let's be honest. But could it get 40 to 60 yards somewhat consistently throughout the entire year? Yes. We saw smoke all preseason long about his usage. They said chess piece time and time again. They want to maximize those matchups, those mismatches that he creates, whether in motion, lining up in the backfield, which I think we're going to see on occasion, in the slot, working outside. Andrews, I'm not pressing a panic button at all. You look at some of the advanced analytics, they actually ran about the same amount of routes, maybe not as much separation. Lamar Jackson was just taking advantage of the man-on-man coverage that Likely was getting. And he was just a hot-handed receiver in that game. I think Likely is here to stay as at least a top 15 tight end. I would recommend you put in a claim for Likely. Don't drop Mark Andrews and let this thing kind of play out once we get more of a sample size. But I'm not going to be chasing Brock Bowers if Likely is available. Steve says, another Shakir question. Khalil Shakir or George Pickens. Man, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to go Khalil Shakir, just given the uncertainty of the quarterback position. Fields could be a top 10 fantasy quarterback in week number 1. Why? Running, right? That is his strength. That's his MO. Tucking and running. He could go for like 60 and a touch on the ground, add another $150 and a touch through the air. Bada bing, bada boom. You're over 20 fantasy points and you're inside the top 10. But I think there is more upside with Khalil Shakir overall in that Bills offense, but it may have to happen early. Grant Sambo says, hi, Brad, there on Twitch. Hola to you. Keenan Allen or Brian Robinson? Brian Robinson, man. Again, Keenan's dealing with that heel issue. I don't think he's 100%. He's sharing the sugar in that Bears passing attack. He's another year older and a guy that's getting up there in age. Yeah, I pump the brakes on him. Brian Robinson could be damn good. Oh, Sledgehammer. Daddy want, Daddy need, Daddy gotta have it. Yeah, there you go, Danny. I've been throwing around Sledgehammer all week long. I bet MGM tonight. Make sure you watch that fine program. We stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/BetQL. Again, twitch.tv/BetQL. We're streaming everywhere. You can even watch it on the Gaming Juice, my website. It's absolutely free. We're eventually going to be a freemium website, but it's free for now. And you can stream the show there as well every Monday through Friday. Myself and Ryan Horvat, 7 to 11 p.m. Eastern time. Sledgehammers galore, baby. Fernando says RB2, Eckler or Chase Brown? Oh, 100%. It's 2 from the maple syrup, man. It's Chase Brown, bro. ILL. Whoa, what a huge victory by my Illini last night. I was in attendance. It was glorious. I thought I lost my voice, but I woke up and it, repaired itself. We stormed the field. It's Kansas. Historically, a god-awful football program, but they were nationally ranked. And winning and holding them to 17 points, kudos to you. ILL. Burrow, Jalen Daniel. Give me Jalen Daniel over Joe Burrow today. Dramatic. Tyreek Hill just got arrested. Where you been, bro? We already talked about it. Gypsy Queen, Cousins or Caleb Williams? I got to go with Caleb Williams again to the rushing upside there. I think could be the difference. Jeremy says, half point PPR, Deontay Johnson or Calvin Ridley? Give me Calvin Ridley. Danny says, flex PPR question. Najee Harris, Devin Singletary or Keenan Allen? Give me Najee Harris. Slide advantage. Peter Farmer says, hola, good. He says, go Monmouth. Yeah, of course. Peter always is representing Monmouth. Wait till college basketball season. That's going to be a usual take from him. Some moron from my league just dropped T. Higgins. Higgins or Jaden Reed rest of the season. Well, if you have to drop Jaden Reed for Higgins, I'll pass. It's about the same. 3 favorite parlay legs. Oh, good Lord. I don't have all those parlay legs written. Here, do this. Go to thegamingjuice.com right now. There is a banner at the top of the screen that says free picks. My spreadsheet is there. I have like 50 picks, many of them SGPs, standard parlays. They're my real, actual plays. I'm not trying to, sell you a bill of goods or anything. If I put on the spreadsheet, I'm playing it with my real hard-earned money behind it. Go to thegamingjuice.com, click that free picks banner at the top, and you'll be able to see all the various parlay action you could think of. Phil's thoughts on King Henry. Why the Ravens use him more? Well, game flow, bro. That had a lot to do with it. And Lamar Jackson was running wild, and they had no answer for it. So I think that was a major influential factor. I'm not worried about King Henry. He's still got an excellent top half offensive line. It's going to be mostly conservative offense. Lamar Jackson is going to open up some holes for him. Defenses now, they got the tape on Lamar from week 1. They're really going to key on him in week 2. Derrick Henry could have a monster game. Rich says, the Gaming Juice ? It's my website, my man. I have it right now. Nobody wanted to hire me to write. That's a God's honest truth. So what did I do? I just created my own website, thegamingjuice.com, because I love the written words, how I got into this business as a writer. Go there right now. The content is free. My Fantasy Flame selections, they're every single week. My fantasy football rankings there as well, every single week. All the player prop action you can imagine, SGPs, college football picks from Ben Wittenstein, Nate Jacobson, Nate Lundy, my podcast partner. He's got his picks there. We got additional writers coming on. We're building something awesome at thegamingjuice.com, and Boom Press created a beautiful site. And again, I'm not charging a dime, man. Go there. Thoughts on Josh Jacobs? If Love is out for an extended period of time, look, he'll be a point of emphasis. Looks like Malik Willis is going to get the start probably the next 3 weeks at a minimum. It could be 18 to 22 touches per game. Though Emmanuel Wilson looked really good, spelling him, and you're going to see some Marshawn Lloyd once he gets up and running. So I'm not too worried about Josh Jacobs. All looked good in the second half, especially on Friday night down there in Brazil. Brian Cook says, Amari Cooper, Brian Robinson, what is the strength of the Dallas Cowboys? Secondary. Amari Cooper kind of wanted to get out of Cleveland like a few weeks ago. Is he happy? Is he going to be motivated? Is he going to be able to perform even at a half-ass effort? I don't know. I don't like the matchup. I'm a matchup advocate. I'd rather play Brian Robinson, who I think is going to get 12 to 15 touches. Some of those coming in the pass game, so that'll help you in a half-point PPR. So give me Brian Robinson over Amari Cooper. Love the Gaming Juice. Well, thank you, Jeremy, for checking out the Gaming Juice. And sign up for a free account, fools. Help me out. Help me help you. Go to thegamingjuice.com. It's free. It's really easy to sign up. All you need is, I don't even know if you need an email address. I think you just kind of put in what you want to be called. Maybe you put in the email address and bam, you're in. You can check everything out. And of course, these streams going to live there as well throughout the entire season. So check out the Gaming Juice. Like I say, click, converse, and cash, ... Maybe I don't have all the answers. I just give you my opinion and my real honest to God bets. That's the way this industry should be. It shouldn't just be walking bets from voluptuous blondes all the time, right? That's ridiculous. Mark Connor says, hola, amigo. Standard league, Anita Flex, Keenan Allen, Brian Robinson, or Jaylen Warren. Again, Allen injury downside with that heel. Jaylen Warren injury downside somewhat with the hamstring injury. Those things can flare up. Brian Robinson Jr., man. If you got Brian Robinson Jr. in your league, I think you're going to be starting him many times, maybe 7 out of 10 times this year in these kind of scenarios. He's a very underappreciated, underrated running back and a guy that can do literally everything. And I'm not overly concerned about Austin Eckler, but I could stand corrected here in just a few hours. Gypsy Queen says, Neighbors or Deontay Johnson. I don't like New York Giants bias influencing my decision. Well, here's the deal. Both these guys got to see, I think, similar workloads. So who do you trust more? Is it Daniel Jones, option A, or option B, Derek Carr? I don't really have a correct answer there. They're both bad. They're not good. Neighbors, I think, has better playmaking ability on explosive pass plays down the field. I know it's his first game. I do like the matchup, though, against the Vikings. Give me the advantage with Malik Neighbors there. Josh says, Blake Corum or Zach Moss, 2-point PPR. Holy mackerel. Still Zach Moss. I think 65 yards and a touchdown, as I said earlier on this AMA is my fearless forecast for him, and he may get a couple of catches. Corum may only see 8 to 10 touches tonight, maybe a catch or two. Will he get some goal line work? TBD. So give me Zach Moss. Chris says, Fryer Booth or Evan Ingram. Give me Evan Ingram and a walk. Rich says, best bang for the buck tequila. There are a number of options, but I like the Herradura Ultra. I buy it like a ton of it at Costco. It runs about in Illinois, about $50 a bottle. That's really good. I love the entire suite of options that Casa Noble rolls out. The Repo's really good. The Anejo's fantastic as well. Those are already between 55 and 65, but I don't know where you live. That's, again, going by Illinois prices. Some states, like Funston, my old buddy at Yahoo, who is managing editor of fantasy and betting at The Athletic, he's in Washington, and that everything's like $10 higher. But, again, Casa Noble, Herradura Ultra, those are my go-tos for best of the bang. Best of the buck, bang, whatever you want to call it, tequila. Bill says, what's up, Brad? What's up to you? Ferguson or Taysom Hill? Thanks, sir. Ooh, man, I'm very enticed by Taysom Hill. I'm not going to lie, but with the PPR element, you got to go Ferguson. You really do. Hey, you're welcome, Rich, by the way. Hey, I'm Brad Evans, folks. This is a week 1 AMA. I used to do these a little bit later, but I'm going to be doing a new show with my buddy Claudia Bellafato on Bleacher Report and the app at the top of the hour. So at 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern time, we're going to give you booms. We're going to give you bust, and we're going to give you bank picks on every single week one main slate NFL game. We'll keep you up to date on various news and notes. We'll give you the latest on Tyreek Hill. If there is any additional news there, injury news, inactives, actives, all that stuff. And we're going to be answering your questions as well. So if you don't get your question answered here on this AMA, fire up your phone, hit the Bleacher Report app, stream us, and we're going to give you some hot opinions, hopefully make you a little bit of money, and also get you off to a stirring victory in fantasy week numero uno. Rich, adding more context, I first saw you in Yahoo Fantasy Roll years ago. Yes, I didn't have any hair then. I had a very punchable face then, and I still do. So I appreciate you sticking with me, Rich. I appreciate all of you sticking with me as well. I've exhausted all the questions. We're going to be right back here next Sunday. Go to thegamingjuice.com. Check everything out there. You can follow me on all the various social medias, primarily on the X, where I'm always trying to give it to you there at Noisy Huevos. Make sure you watch that Bleacher Report show and get after it. And I'll answer this one question before I get out of here. Steve says 2 flex spots in a PPR. Juggernaut Javonte, Terry McLaurin, Deontay Johnson, Jameson Williams. Oh my God, Palmer and Mostert. Mostert is in. Sorry about all the names. Well, okay. And then the other one for the 2 PPR, give me Terry, Scary, McLaurin. Paul says Jalen Waddle or MHJ for the half point PPR spot there. I'm going to go with Jalen Waddle. We'll see, how much, Tyreek Hill will play or if he's even going to be impacted at all. And then Scott says Dortch or Dobbins. I'm going to go Greg Dortch in a PPR. He might catch 4 or 5 balls today. Rich adds, like when you were on Sirius XM, maybe you're going to come back there. No, I'm not coming back to Sirius XM. They had an opportunity to bring me back. It didn't work out, sadly, for all parties. I now work for Odyssey stations. You can hear this stupid voice every single Monday through Friday, and you can stream on my show. It's called BetMGM tonight. Myself, Ryan Horvat, 7:11 p.m. Eastern time. Go to thegamingjuice.com and check out that stream or the various other places. It's on YouTube. It's on Twitch. It's everywhere. And you can also download the Odyssey app and listen to our fantasy football and sports betting musings every Monday through Friday, 7 to 11 p.m. Eastern. So there you go. Scott already answered that. And Chris, Jamar Chase is active. Should roll with him or Calvin Ridley. I still go with Jamar Chase. It may be a little bit of a clack roll of the dice, but I am buying that he is going to play more than an expected role, which should be too limited with T. Higgins out. All right, I got to peace out, fools. Got to get ready for my Bleacher Report stream coming up here in 20 minutes. Download the BR app so you can watch myself, Claudia Bellafato, break down the entire slate from a betting, from a fantasy perspective, answering your questions as well. Go to thegamingjuice.com, sign up for an account today. And until next time, adios, amigos. Get that dub.